I thought the women's movement was for other people. I was not going to fight to succeed. I was going to give what I had to give to get what I wanted to get. And what I wanted to get was to be first. Some guy told me I could get this job if I went out with him. He put his hand on my thigh. I remember not removing it. I'm so sorry, Gloria. I didn't mean that. I always went to private schools because I had a very wealthy uncle, and I was always the poor kid in class. So if I went to someone's house and they had a doorman and they had initials on their silverware, I always was ashamed to have them come back to my house because we just had forks, spoons, and knives just like thrown in the drawer. So that's how I grew up, wanting to have a separator for my silverware. I was sad, I was difficult, I was insecure. I always felt that I was stopgap by life in some way and that there was something someone wasn't telling me. I wanted to know why there were no more dinosaurs, how a tadpole changed into a frog, and I used to drive my teachers crazy with that. I don't know, is that curious or annoying? Oh, that was convenience. I hope he's not around. That was because I wanted to go to Europe and because I didn't want to go home and work at Bloomingdale's. I didn't know what to do. So I thought, well, I'll get married. We went all over the world. We traveled. He could order in different languages. We could climb mountains in the Yucatan, things that I would never have been able to do by myself. My first husband wanted me to be home in the evenings and be home on weekends. And that was pretty hard because I wanted to be in the theater. I would have done anything in the theater. I remember being out of town for 3 days and coming back, and there were 3 shirts, 3 cups of coffee, 3 teaspoons, and it said, "For you." I resented him for that, and I couldn't wait to leave him. And I did. I love the theater the most. But I tried to make the television box a theater box. And I like to think that you turn the lights out and you watch it like you do in the theater. So I made peace with television. I don't think I really knew what the women's movement was about till I was in my 20s. Some guy told me I could get this job if I went out with him. I think it was that time that I noticed that there was a sort of sexual play at work, that you could work to your own advantage. But I didn't know it was abusive. I didn't know, and I didn't like it. But I didn't have time to be a feminist. I didn't have the luxury to feel put upon. I needed a check. I needed to pay rent. I needed to pay electricity. I needed to buy clothes. I needed money. I needed to live. When I first went there, I thought a documentary was Winston Churchill, Hitler's master race, and then I was so bored doing that. Then I thought, well, I'll just tell the stories that are in the movies with real people. So that if it was a story about menage a trois, I did a piece about menage a trois. If it was a story about divorce, I did a piece on divorce. If it was a story about a sick kid, love story, or about, you find out your girlfriend has cancer and she's going to die in 6 months, I would do a story about that. It didn't have to be based on something that was. It could be based on something that is. And that was a great gift that HBO gave me, because it was adventurous and there was no bureaucracy. Because of that freedom, storytelling through real people became interesting. Because life is hard and life is difficult, and people learn from other people's struggles. 1, that they can get through their own, and 2, what an amazing thing it is to survive. You can put on my tombstone what everybody tells me, which is that I created this genre, that I created reality television. I don't give a shit. I really don't care. I care that I gave it my best shot. There is a great satisfaction in feeling that maybe just maybe, you moved it on the scale from good to very good. But the best thing that they could say is, she should have gone on forever.